Hello guys, how are you all? Good evening. Good evening to all of you. So guys, welcome to the live session of Vedantu, and my name is Mridul, and today in this live session we are going to do quadratic equations, right? So this topic is basically for class 10 CBSE. Okay, so guys, this topic is little bit tricky as well as critical and very important for class 10, also for your future courses. That means whenever you will go to class 11 and 12 and IIT JEE, so you will be dealing with this in future also, right? So this is very important. So if we see the things that we're going to do today in this particular session is basically we will solve a lot of numericals which will be of like word problems. But before that, we will also give some time in understanding the basics of quadratic equation, like what is quadratic equation, very basic questions which sometimes creates difficulty in students, and some questions which you don't get answered in books generally. Okay, so we will talk and discuss about these topics, like for example zeros and roots of quadratic equation and its nature and why is it that. Okay, and then we will also discuss how completing the square method is better than factorization. Okay, and then we will go for the word problems. Okay, so hope you will enjoy this session, so stick with me guys. So let's start with the first question which comes to mind is what is quadratic equation, right? And let me also tell you guys that I am sharing my email ID, right? So that is mridul.ghosh, note it down guys, @vedantu.com. Now why I have given this, because here I am going to go little bit faster in this topics. Okay, so it might happen that at this particular point of time, if you have some more doubts, so ping me in this number. As you know that we have a fixed time here, so any further doubts you can ping me and I will reach you. Okay guys, so hope you got the agenda of giving me the mail ID. So let's start. So basically what is quadratic equation, right? So if you say in simple words, if you say quadratic equation or quadratic, these are expressions which are also known as algebraic, or basically these are polynomial expressions, right? So what is polynomial expression? So we will have some variables and we will have some constants, right? That is called polynomial. And basically in polynomial what happens is the power should be always integral, right? Integers. Now in quadratic equation, the highest power that we should have should be 2, and the number of variables is generally 1. So we should have one variable and the highest power should be 2. For example, x squared, right? So this is a polynomial, this is an algebraic expression, polynomial expression or quadratic expression because this is 2. Now I can have additional terms with this also. For example, x squared plus 2x. This is also quadratic equation. X squared plus 5. This is also quadratic equation. Or these are not equations yet. These are expressions. Now when will these things become equation? When I equate them to something, some constant numbers or something, right? So this means, for example, generally what do we do is, suppose we have an expression and we equate it to 0. Now we will understand slowly why we equate to 0. So that is the second part. First of all, let us understand what is quadratic. So these are quadratic expressions, right? Not equations yet. Now some conditions will come when we will equate this required on that particular conditions. So now since we have understood that what is quadratic expression, let us go to the next part, like what do you understand by solution of quadratic equation? Now this is very important. Now solution, suppose I have a quadratic expression x squared. Now if I ask you what is the solution of this, what do you mean by this? Now you know how to do this, but what do you mean by this? What does it means? It means value of x. So suppose x is the variable of this particular quadratic expression. So value of x for which the expression becomes 0. For example, say I have an x square. Okay, this is my quadratic expression. Now if I equate it to 0, for which value of x does this become 0? That is called solution of quadratic equation. And to find this, we do different methods like factorization, right? Completing the square method, etc. Now if you see here, it's very easy to solve. What are the values for which this will become 0? That means x will have two values and both of them are the same value, that is 0, 0. That's it. Now why two values? That also I will come to that later. Now you see this types of equations. If you have something like x square minus 2x. Now I want the value of x here for which this expression becomes 0. I'm repeating it again and again. So try to understand. So now I will equate this to 0. Why I am equating this to 0 is because I want the solution. And what is solution? Solution is those values of x for which this expression becomes 0. So I hope this is clear to you now. Now how do you solve this? So you can take x common and x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now you see I have x and x minus 2 is equal to 0. So product of two things is equal to 0. That means both of them can be 0. So that means my solution will be x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2. So for both these values, my expression will become 0. This is the solution. Okay. Similarly, x square minus 4. This also can be solved easily. So what I can do, first of all, I have to equate it to 0. So x square is equal to 4. So from here, x is equal to plus minus 2. That means if I put plus 2, then also I will get it 0. If I put minus 2 in place of x, then also I will get 0. Right? So this is why this is the solution. Now the last one, x square minus 2x plus 20. Now you see the three examples what we have taken right now are very easy and it's easy to solve. But if you take this the fourth one, if you see properly, it's a little bit of typical, right? So these three are easy. Okay. Now if I talk about the last one, this one, now this I cannot directly solve. So for that I need to do factorization, right? So generally we learn factorization. You have learned factorization in class 9 also, right? So I'm not discussing factorization for now. Let us say you know factorization and let me take this problem. So it is like x square minus 2x minus 20. So you multiply this and here I have 1. So it is like 20. So 20 can be written as 5 into 4 or 10 into 2 or 1 into 20. But you see we are not getting 2 here, right? So any combination I'm not getting 2. That means I will not have integral solutions of this, right? Or zeros of this. So I will come to what is zeros and what is roots. I will come to that. Okay. Now, so this factorization is not simple here. You cannot easily factorize this. So what we will do is we'll go for the next type of method, that is completing the square method. So this is the benefit of completing the square methods, that it becomes easier for us to find the solutions, right? So now how is it easier? Now let us talk about some equation if it is present in this way. So if I have something in this way, how is it helpful for us? So now let me try to solve this. So x minus 1 whole square minus 21. So I can write this as x minus 1 whole square is equal to 21, right? And now I can write this as x minus 1 is equal to plus minus square root of 21. And this can be written as x is equal to 1 plus minus root over 21. That means I got two roots, right? That is x is equal to 1 plus square root of 21 and 1 minus square root of 20. So it will be something like 3.5 and 5.5 something. Okay, I'm not going to like extreme values. Now let me show you something. If you have realized, now if I try to do, so this is known as desmos.com. okay, and this is where you can put the values and you will get the, if you write the equations here, if you see it, okay, let me show it to you. So you can write your equations here and you will get the curve. Okay, so if I type the equations here, okay, see here, if you type the equations here, x square minus 2x minus 20. Okay, so you will get this red one as your graph. Okay, now same thing, if I try to put the graph or draw the graph, okay, of x minus 1 whole square minus 20. Now if you see the previous one, that is x square minus 2x minus 20, what are the zeros? You see the zeros are this other zeros. Okay, now let me go to the next one. Now if you see the next one, even in this one also I'm getting the same curve. See here, I'm getting the same curve and the same zeros. So these are my zeros. So in this one also, earlier one also, I was getting the same zeros. That means what? Both of them are same. So this is what I was asking you to realize. So if you see here, if I break this down, okay, if I break this down, it will be like x square minus 2x plus 1 minus 21 equal to 0, or x square minus 2x minus 20 equal to 0. That means this is nothing but the previous equation which we were dealing with, which we are having difficulty for factorization. But by using completing the square method, it becomes simple. So what is completing the square method? So converting this equation to the form x minus 1 whole square minus 21 is known as completing the square method. So you have to convert this equation to this equation. This is what basically you need to do, and this is what you have to, this is what is known as completing the square method. So that's all about the benefits of completing the square method. We will solve one problem later on how to convert any quadratic equation on completing the square method. Now here I have just explained what is a benefit. Okay, coming back to the next topic, that what is quadratic formula? Yeah, so what is this quadratic formula? So if you see here, ax squared plus bx plus c. Now this is the general expression of quadratic equation. So that means a, b and c are my constants, right? And x squared or x is my variable here, right? Now if you see, by completing the square method, I can find out some formula for this. That means I can say that my solutions or my roots, okay, will be nothing but x1 and x2. I will get two zeros or two roots of this particular thing. So I will have two solutions also, I can say that. So they will be minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2 times of a. So that means if I put the values here directly, I am going to get the roots of my, so roots are nothing but solutions of my quadratic equation, right? So roots and zeros are the same thing for now. So hope you understood this. So I'm not deriving it, guys. So I will derive it later in my course. So now let's go ahead and see what are the meaning of this roots, zeros, real zeros and not. That means if you go back and see this, so my roots, so these are my roots or my zeros. So this depends on this thing, and this is known as discriminant, right? So generally what we do is we write d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Okay, now a lot depends on this value, and you see this value depends on a, b and c, all of them. So I have a here, b here and c here. So all of them are present. So this value is dependent on all three of them, all three constants. And on this value, it depends on how my root will be. So let me talk this in details. That means roots and zeros are same thing, and these are nothing but solutions of quadratic equation. Okay. Now, these solutions or the zeros or roots can be of different types, and what type of roots will I have will depend on this discriminant. So I will give you some examples for this. So let me show it to you. For example, here only I can show it. So say I have d is equal to say 0. if I have d is equal to 0, if I get it, that means b square minus 4ac, I got it. It can happen, right? So b square minus 4ac becomes 0. If that happens, then what will be my solution? So my solution x1 and x2 will both be same, and that is minus b by twice a, because this part became 0, right? Next, so this is case 1. Case 2 is if d is greater than 0. So it is positive, so this value is positive and greater than 0, right? So in that case, what will happen? B square, suppose b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. Then also I don't have any problem. I will have real roots but different roots. Here in case 1, what I was having? I was having real and equal roots. Right? Here what I will have? I will have x1 as minus b plus some value, okay? Some value, that means square root of this value, by 2a, and the second one will be x2 will be minus b minus the same value. Suppose this is, say, z, okay? So what is z? So basically z is nothing but square root of b square minus 4ac. So I got this as a positive number. So minus b plus z by 2a and minus b minus z plus by 2a. So these are also real roots, but both of them are different. Now, what if this d, so this is my case 2, okay? So case 1, case 2, and let me go for case 3 now. So now case 3 means, suppose if my d is less than 0. Now if I have less than 0, suppose this d is less than 0, that means what? Square root of something becomes imaginary. If I have something negative number, this becomes imaginary. That means now my roots will be minus b plus minus something imaginary, and this as a whole will be known as complex roots. So I will have complex space. So this is something which you don't have to study in details now, because complex you will get it in class 11, right? So now coming back to this, you just need to know when your roots will be real and when your roots will be non-real or something else, right? Now, nature of its roots, it depends on discriminant, is what you need to understand, right? So this is the fifth thing. So that means you can directly write down d is equal to b square minus 4ac. You just find out the value of this 4ac, find out the value of this, put it here, and you can tell how your roots will be. So you can comment on this. So with this, guys, let's start, okay, solving things. That's all what is required for you, or the knowledge that is required for you to solve the questions in this particular topic. So now let's start solving. So it is saying that solve the quadratic equation by factorization method in this, right? So if you see here, it's not visible properly whether this is quadratic equation or not. So what we need to do is we need to simplify this. But before simplification, you have to see something which is not mentioned here, that x minus 2 should not be equal to 0, x minus 1 should not be equal to 0, or x should not be equal to 0. Now why am I saying these things? I am saying these things because if x minus 2 is 0, then 1 by 0 becomes undefined. So that means x can never be, or x should never be equal to 2, or x should never be equal to 1 from this, or x should never be equal to 0. So that means this should never be the solution, or that means, in other words, I should never take x as 2 or x as 1 or x as 0. If I do this, I'll get something which is indefinite. Okay, so hope you understood this part, which is not there in the question for now, but definitely it will be there in your standard questions, right? So now you have to, even if it is not there, you have to, take it for your understanding. You have to understand that this thing is there. Now let me simplify this. So that means 1 by x minus 2 plus 2 by x minus 1 is equal to 6 by x. So how do you do it? First of all, you take LCM here, so this becomes x minus 2 into x minus 1, and here I get x minus 1 plus 2x minus 4 is equal to 6x, right? So now what I do is I cross multiply this. So before cross multiplying, let me see what I get here. I get 3x minus 5, and here what do I get? Here I will get x square and minus 3x, right, and plus 2. Now this is what I should get, and is equal to 6x. Now if I cross multiply, I will get 3x square minus 5x is equal to 6x square minus 18x plus 12, right? Now I will get a quadratic equation which will be, say, 3x square and minus 13x and plus 12 is equal to 0. Now we have to factorize this. Now factorization, I'm not showing it here because I hope you know factorization, and I have done a lot of sessions previously in factorization. Okay, but in my course I will go little bit details in factorization. Okay, so now let me go to the next question. So that is, find the roots of this equation by completing the square method. Now how will you do this method, right? Now what is completing the square method? So as I told you, I need something of the form x minus, the example I'm taking, the last example, 21 equal to 0. So that means I need something in the square and then some constant number, right? So now let me try to bring this in this form. So how will I bring this? So that is the trick. So a square x square minus 3ab x, okay, or plus 2b square equal to 0. So first thing what I will do is, first of all, I will free up this x square. So let me divide both sides by a square. So if I divide both sides by a square, I will have 3b by a x plus 2b by a whole square. This is what I will have if I divide both sides by a square. Now what I will do is, now see here, x square minus 3b by a, okay, x, and let me take this on the right hand side. So this becomes minus 2b by a whole square, sorry. So, okay, so now once I have done this, now let me understand, how can I make this as whole square? How can I make this as a whole square? So to make this as a whole square, what do I need? I need, suppose this is, I need a square plus twice ab plus b square. So this is my formula of making a plus b whole square. So I'll try to see here. So say this is x square, that means this is a square something, and into 2. Now I need this 2. So let me put this 2 here. So if I put this 2, if I multiply by 2, I have to also divide by 2 so that it is balanced. So now I got something like this and something like this. So x square minus 2, and say this is a term and this is a term. So this I already have x square, so I need this term. So what I will do is I will write plus 3 by 2 b by a. So what I did is 3 by 2 b by a whole square. I just wrote this down. Now, but if I write this, I have to balance the equation also. How do I balance it? So I have to write it in both sides. So in this side also, I will write it. Okay. So I have written this in both sides. Now what will happen? Now if you see, I can write this as 3 minus x minus 3 by 2 b by a whole square. Now I got this x in terms of something whole square. And in the right hand side, if you see here, I will have minus or let me take b by a whole square common. So if I take this common, I will have minus 2 and plus 9 by 4. Okay, so if I simplify this, so I can simplify this, so it will be 2 can be written as 8 by 4, and then it will be, I can write this simply as 1 by 4, right? So this becomes, after simplification, this becomes 1 by 4. So now what I will do, how to solve this? Now I will do the square root of both sides. So I will take a square root on both sides. So here I will get x 3 by 2 b by a is equal to plus minus b by twice a. Right? So now if you see, I get two solutions. One is x1 will be 3b by twice a plus b by twice a, and the other one will be x2 will be 3b by twice a minus b by a. Now you can further simplify it and you will get the solutions. So this is, guys, this is the technique where you can do it by completing the string. So any doubt, mail it to me. You have my mail ID. At the end of the class, I will again give my mail ID. So hope you understood it, right? Any doubt here, guys? Okay, cool. So most of you understanding. Okay. Now what I will do, guys, is I will go to directly the word problems. So as I have promised that I will also solve word problems. So let us start with it. So first thing is, a two-digit number is such that the product of its digit is 18. When 63 is subtracted from the number, the digit interchange their places, find the number. How do you solve these types of problems? So before you start solving this problem, you need to understand how do you express a decimal number. So for example, 53, right? So 53 is a decimal number, right? And this, how do I write this? So suppose I have x and y as my digits, right? So if you have x and y as your digits, so how do you write 53 from there? So it is like, you don't write, suppose you have two digits, say 4 and 2, right? 4 and 2. Now, if I ask you to write 42, how will you write? You don't write just 4 and 2 in this, like this. So what you can write is, you have 2 plus 4 into 10 will give you 42. Similarly, 4 plus 2 into 10 will give you 24. So that means with your digit 4 and 2, you can get 42 as well as you can get 24. This is the basic difference. So that means it's very important for us to write down the numbers properly. So I will show you what I'm trying to mean. Now let me say I have a two-digit number and let me say my digits are x and y. Okay. Now what they are saying is, it is such that the product of this digits is 18. Okay. So first of all, they are saying that if I multiply x and y, so if I multiply x and y, I get 18. Now see guys, I have taken two variables here, but it's better to convert this variable in terms of the x. So from here, what will I get? I'll get y is equal to 18 by x. So that means what are my two digits? So the first thing is my two digits are x and 18 by x. So these are my two digits. Now let us say my digit is, now this is the most important step, that is, let us say my digit is, or my number, let us say the number is, say number is 10x plus y. Now in place of y, let me write 18 by x. So this is my original number. Now what they are saying is, they are saying when 63 is subtracted from the number. So suppose this is my number and I subtract 63 from it. So let me write down plus 18 by x. If I subtract 63 from it, what do I get? I get a new number whose digit interchange their place. So that means, suppose I had some number, say 90 or 91, and if I interchange, I get 90. So similarly, I have some number, and if I subtract 63 from this, what do I get? I get the same thing but in a different order. That means now I will have y plus 10y plus x. So earlier I took 10x plus y, now I will take x plus 10y, right? So x plus 10y. And what is y? Y is nothing but 18 by x. So I'll write 10 times of 18 by x, right? So now you got 180 by x. So now if you simplify this, you will get a quadratic equation, guys, right? So simplify it quickly and see what is the equation that you're getting. Do it. So you will get something like this, right? So you will get this equation, 9x square minus 63x minus 162. Now you will get common here, 9 can be thrown out, right? So once you solve this you can solve this with the help of factorization, and if you factorize, you get the two zeros or two roots, which is 9 and minus 2, right? Got it, guys? So this is how you can solve these types of problem, right? So let me go to the next question. Next question is, in a flight of 600 kilometers, an aircraft was slowed down due to bad weather. Its average speed for the trip was reduced by 200 km per hour and the time of flight increased by 30 minutes. So some situation happened due to which the speed was reduced, so the time increased, of course. So find the duration of the flight. So they are asking what is the time duration of this flight, right? So one thing which is very important for you to see is there are two cases. One is when the flight goes without any disturbance, without any bad weather. So suppose it reaches this particular distance, 600 kilometers, in some time. Now due to bad weather, the speed reduces, so time increases. Now what are they asking? They are asking find out the duration of the flight, right? Now it is important for you to see that the distance is same in both the cases, and this is what is relating case 1 and case 2. And now you can solve case 1 and case 2. So try to solve it, guys. Yeah. So its average speed was reduced by, so if they have given by how much the average speed has been reduced, right? And time of the flight increased by 30 minutes. So now they are asking if it goes on same average speed without the decrement, how much time will it reach to, need to reach the destination. So let us say the time of the flight is x, okay, without delay. So time of the flight is x, hours, x hours, so without delay. So if say my speed for without delay is y, so what is y, guys? It is say y kilometer per hour. Okay, so when it goes in y speed, it reaches to the destination in x hours, right? So I need to find out the x hours. Now we know that speed, right? And what is my time? Time is x hours, right? So that means y can be written as 600 by x. So this is important, right? So that means this is my average speed. Now this was case 1. So this is a trick, guys. You need to divide this is reduced by 200 kilometers. That means now my speed is 600 by x minus 200. So this is my speed now. So if this is my speed, what is my time? So now my time is x plus 30 minutes. Now this I took as hours. So what will be 30 minutes? So 30 minutes means half hour. So I have to write half. I cannot write 30 here. So this is a point where most of the people or students does silly mistake by taking x plus 30. You have to see the units. So this is minutes. So you have to convert this to hour, and which is half hour. So now in this much, it covers the same distance. So distance covered is same. That means this into this will be equal to this into this. So that means x plus 1 by 2 into 600 by x minus 200 is going to be equal to the time that is, or the distance that is covered in x hours, and speed is 600 by x. Understood? So here is a distance of second case, here is the distance of case 1, and distance of case 1 is equal to distance of case 2. So you just equate them, you will get a equation. Once you get a quadratic equation, then it's very simple, right? So the challenge is to write down the equation, to form this equation. Once you form the equation, your job is done. Then you know what to do. You've learned this from class 9, right? So I'm not doing this. Let me just show you that you will get an equation. Ultimately, you will get equation like x squared minus 200x minus 24, or it's like 2,40,000. Okay, and once you solve it, your answer or your, yeah, so x here will be speeds. Okay, so they have taken, okay guys, you'll get something else, because here they have taken the speed to be x, right? What did we take? We took the time as x. So don't follow this one. So solve by yourself. You can easily solve this, and you'll get the value of x, which is the duration of your flight. Okay, so solve it and send it to me, and even if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, now I'm seeing some of you are pinging me that why not I can take the speed as x. So if you take the same thing, guys, there is no problem. Even if you take the speed of this to be x, so your new speed will be x minus 200. Similarly, time in case 1 will be now 600 by x, and time in case 2 will be same 600 by x minus 200. You can say solve it in this one. So this is say time 1 or case 1, and this is time 2. Now what is said is, now what is the difference between this? So time 2 minus time 1 is 30 minutes, that is half hour. So you can put the values here, that is 600 by x minus 200 minus 600, x is equal to half. So this is how this solution is given. In this way, if you solve it, first of all, you need to find out the value of x. Once you find the value of x, you need to find the value of y, which is 600 by x. So your 600 by x is coming as 1 hour. So you'll get the same answer. You can do it in both the methods, and you can see here directly the value of x will give you 1 hour, because I have taken x as time here. So hope you understood it. Send me the solution in this method and I will check it, okay, in my mail ID. So let's go to the next question, guys. Next one is 1/4 of a herd of camel was seen in the forest, right? Twice the square root of the herd has gone to mountains, and the remaining 15 camels were seen on the bank of the river. Find the total number of camels. So what to do? So this is like one case only. You cannot say that there are several cases here. So in this particular question, the trick to solve these types of questions is, first of all, you have one case where they have divided these. Suppose you have 100 camels and they have divided these 100 camels into separate parts. So what we will do is, always try to take whatever they have asked as the variable. For example, they are asking find the total number of camels. So take the total number of camels as x. So if the total number of camels is x, how will you solve it? So what they are saying is, so let us see what are the parts first of all. They are saying 1/4 of a herd of camels was seen in the forest. So how many are there in the forest? So in forest, we have 1/4. 1/4 of whom? 1/4 of herd of camels. So how many camels are there in the herd? There are x camels in the herd. So that means how many are there in the forest? So 1/4 of the herd, that is 1/4 of x. So this is very important. This is where your skill, you need to understand this language and write down this equation. So this is the skill that is required in word problem. Once you can write this, then there is nothing left new here to learn. So this is x by 4 that you see in the forest. Next, twice the square root of the herd. Twice the square root of the herd, that means of x, has gone to mountain. So how many in mountain? So mountain, I have 2 written. And how many are left? 15 of them were left. So 15 of them are left. So if I add them, total should be x. This is the equation. So you have the equation as x is equal to x by 4 plus 2 square root of x plus 15. Right? So now you got this. Now how to simplify this is very simple. You have something like root x, right? So it's better you keep it on one side and the rest of the members on the other side. That means x minus x by 4 minus 15 is equal to 2 root x, right? If I simplify this, I will have 3 by 4x minus 15 is equal to 2 root x. Now what you do is you can square both sides. If you square both sides, this square root will go and you will have a simple equation which is in terms of quadratic equations, right? Once you have a quadratic equation, you know how to solve it, right guys? So if you go ahead and if you solve this, you can easily solve this or easily form this quadratic equation. And here if you see, there is one more technique I will show you. So without square root, without doing the square root also you can do it, but it's always better to do the square root. Okay, so you can solve it by your own method and send me the solution. Okay, so guys, I'm not solving it as I have very less time, so I want to go through more and more questions. Okay, so let me go to the next question. So next question is, a peacock is sitting on the top of a pillar which is 9 meters high. From a point of 27 meters away from the bottom of the pillar, a snake is coming to its hole at the base of the pillar. So now let us understand this problem. So what happens is, basically first thing is, I have this height, let us say this height at which the peacock is sitting is 9 meters. Now they're saying it, suppose there is a hole at this base. So now a snake is at a distance, say, of 27 meters from the pillar at this particular time, right? Now the snake is coming with some speed. So this is going with some speed and a snake is coming to his hole. So seeing the snake, now the moment the peacock saw this snake, right? Peacock pounces on it, right? If their speeds are equal, at what distance from the hole is the snake? This should be hole, right? So at what distance from the hole the snake is caught? That means the peacock has to catch the snake. Now the speed with which the peacock is flying and the speed with which the snake is coming should match. If it doesn't match, snake will go past or peacock will land something. Now the thing is, one thing which has to match is the speed of both of them. Second thing is the distance. If the peacock comes with the same speed somewhere here, it will not be able to catch the snake and the snake may run away. So they have to meet at the same point first of all. So they will meet at the same point and both will come at the same speed. So they are saying, if this is to happen, what should be the speed? What should be the speed? Now guys, you need to use trigonometry here. So this needs little bit of trigonometric idea. Okay, so first of all, let me say that this guy is coming down with a speed, say x. Say it is coming down with a speed x. Okay. Okay. So this guy is coming with speed x, okay, and this guy is also coming with speed x, okay, and since they are starting at the same time, what do you think the distance should be? What do you think this distance should be? So this is the speed. Let us not take it as x. Let us take the speed as, say the speed of flight is, let us say, s. So they are flying with s speed. So s meter per second. So what we need to find is actually a distance from the hole. So we need to find out this distance. So now this distance, let us take x. So what I said is, I will always take the thing which I need to find as x, so that later I don't have to modify it again. So the distance from the hole at which the snake is caught, suppose the snake is caught at this point. So this distance is x, right? So now the snake started from this point. So what will be this distance? So what will be this distance? I know that this whole distance is 27. So if I take this distance as x, so this distance will be 27 minus x meters, right? Now you see guys, if this is traveling at the same speed and they started at the same time, so this will also go for the same speed. So they will cover at same time, at same speed, the distance covered should be same, right? So if you see here, okay, so if you see here, this distance should also be 27 minus x, right? By logic, right? Now let us join these 2 points also. Okay, not required anyways. So now with the help of this relationships or this right angle triangles, you can solve it, right? So try to solve it guys, try to form the equation now. I'll give you 2 minutes, think about it. Done guys? So basically you see it's very simple. You have this triangle, right? And you see the black triangle. This is basically a right angle triangle, and you can apply the trigonometric thing here. So we know that hypotenuse square is sum of the side square, that is 27 minus x whole square should be equal to x square plus 9 square. That's it. Now you will get a quadratic equation here. You can easily solve it. Yeah. You will also get one more from here, but that's fine. It's not real. Okay. Right. So now it's very easy, simple to solve it. So you can solve it and send it to me. So guys, that's it from from my side. And now let me tell you that there is a course which has been designed. Okay, and that's just a 2 hours course. And if you see this, try to type this, that is https://vdnt.in/quadratic. So let me just try to type it, that is https://vdnt.in, and that is quadratic/quadratic. Okay, so if you go to this page guys, this is just a 2 hours course, and you can enroll yourself. If you see this page, you can enroll yourself here, and if you enroll, you can see this is the course fee is just 51 rupees, right? So hope this will be encouraging for you, and hope to see you in my class guys, and we will enjoy in our class, and I will take a lot of word problems, more word problems, and we will also talk in details about the types of solutions, natures of quadratic equations. Okay, and also this graph, I hope this is useful for you, whoever has not seen it earlier. So guys, again I will send my mail ID. Mail ID is mridul.ghosh@Vedantu So hope you like the class guys. So enjoy. Bye bye. Have a nice time.